Welcome to ISB Podcast. I'm your host, Sahil, here with Bick, live from London. Bick, lovely to have you. I'm sure everyone in London, where Bick's coming to us from, they were watching one specific match today, but I think as a whole, the Euros have been taking over Europe. So I think it's just a very festive time, right, Bick?
Yeah, no, it's certainly it's certainly the topic of conversation everywhere. All my
Yeah,
WhatsApp groups are dominated by Eurochat, so yeah, I'm
must be a
I'm
fun
I'm
time.
definitely in tournament mode.
Fun time to be in Europe. I know both you and
Yeah,
Rahi are out there, so we'll what, we would love to hear from him at some point. I think he's just been gallivanting game to game. So,
yeah,
all right,
yeah,
I have a theme of the day for this this
yeah,
match day, excuse me, and I think it was every game was a tale of two halves,
yeah.
and we'll get into it where that plays in. But let's start off with the first match, which was Netherlands Poland, and I thought, interestingly enough. I thought the Dutch dominated the first half, and that's when they went behind. And I thought
Mm.
Poland was actually a lot stronger in the second half, and we'll get to that game now. But that's where Netherlands actually ended up winning the match. But yeah, I think at the start, Netherlands was very strong.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think they were creating chances. They should have done a lot better with that. But yeah, I mean, I thought they started really strong, and I
Yeah,
thought this could be another blowout like Spain, but clearly not. Poland clearly had other ideas.
thanks to Mr. Buxa, man. Buxa,
Yeah,
that guy's a beast.
yeah, yeah.
Over 6 feet, and he gets his head on the ball. I mean, that guy was a problem the whole game. I think he played a fantastic game.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
and the thing is, obviously Poland probably came into it thinking, okay, we don't have Lewandowski. We'll probably miss out on some of these chances. And Buxa came in and, didn't miss Lewandowski at all. Like, I thought he had a great game. It was a
yeah,
really good goal. Classic. Like, that's what you expect from a striker.
yeah. And
Um,
the Netherlands response was very good in the first half. I thought I thought they completely
yeah.
dominated the first half.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. And, again, they were expected to, right? Like, they've got a great team. In terms of possession, I think throughout the match, they had control, they had more chances. And it was good that they didn't let their heads drop. I think that's been a feature of some Dutch teams in the past. A lot of infighting and all that. They clearly look a lot more professional now. So yeah, it's definitely good signs from them for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, but I thought Poland overall should be very happy with their response after they allowed the Cody Gakpo goal in the end of the first half, basically, and then
Yeah,
after that, I thought their response in the second half and the adjustments they made was very good, and they probably should have come out with a draw.
they should have, and I think they'll. Yeah, I think to your point, I think they can be proud of how they played, but they might also be kicking themselves because this was a really good chance. If they'd come away with a draw, they would back themselves to beat Austria. I think they'll probably lose to France, but so will Austria, maybe even Netherlands. Um, so it's now a slightly more difficult position for them to finish in the top 16. But we'll see. I think it's certainly good signs. I think Poland are a decent tournament team. So let's see.
It's very refreshing. I thought that match, and I thought this has been the
Mm.
best day so far. I think you would agree, right, Vic? This has
Yeah,
been the
yeah,
best day of football so far in the tournament. I think,
yeah.
the way the Dutch play, it's very lively. And even
Mm.
Poland, compared to some of the Polish teams we've seen in the previous tournaments, I thought they were very lively today, a lot livelier today.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, it was like end-to-end football, like very enjoyable throughout.
Yeah, I thought it was a very enjoyable match. But speaking of
Mm.
enjoyable matches, I thought, the next match right after that, which may not have been on the top of everyone's, menus, I thought this was a fantastic match as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's a narrative around Christian Eriksen. I thought that was great. Like, obviously the commentators, the crowd all got behind it as well. What happened to him 3 years ago in the Euros last time, and for him to score that goal, which was, by the way, like really good finishing.
Yeah.
Um, that was good, and I thought, yeah, Slovenia gave a really good account of themselves.
Yeah. So
I
going
think
back to the
Denmark
tale of two halves.
slightly edged it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Tale of two halves. I think the first half Denmark
Yeah,
was much stronger, but I thought Slovenia's response was very, very good in the second half.
yeah, yeah, and that's why I think like overall Denmark edged it. But I think the draw was probably the was the right result because Denmark didn't dominate in any way, and I think Slovenia gave a really good account of themselves.
Yeah, and I'll,
So
I'll go the opposite of you. I actually think Slovenia edged it in my opinion. So
yeah,
so I thought they had the better chances, and I thought that Benjamin Sesko, what a strike, man, that they hit the
yeah, yeah,
crossbar. But then
yeah,
even the goal that they did score, Eric Jans, obviously it was a deflection. But
yeah.
that was that's what you got to do. You got to have these clean strikes on target.
I mean, Frank Lampard built an entire career on scoring deflected goals, right? Like, the thing is, like, if there's enough men in the box and you shoot it, that's what happens.
Yeah. So I think moving
I
forward,
think
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Netherlands' second goal was also a deflected pass into the box, right? So
Right.
again, like, you do that, and that creates enough chaos. So yeah,
Yeah, that exactly, and the
yeah,
of course we're talking about the goal that fell to Weghorst, but in
yeah,
the I think Slovenia and Denmark, I think both of them can take a lot away from this match. We'll get to why in a second,
yeah, yeah.
but I thought Slovenia was quite impressive, and I thought Denmark, in the first half was pretty decent themselves.
Hmm.
And overall, it was just an enjoyable match. I think this was a very evenly fought match, and I think obviously with Jan Oblak and Kasper Schmeichel, you're going to have two fantastic goalkeepers, and they
Yeah.
both got beat on goals that were unstoppable for both of
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
So
Yeah, yeah. No, no, you're not faulting the goalkeeper for either of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think a lot to build on, and we'll get to why. Of course, this finishes off the first match in
Mm.
Group C, which of course Bick belongs to the
The
same
Union
group
Jack behind me.
as the Union Jack behind him, which
Yeah,
is England.
yeah.
Now, so much to discuss here. Um, before saying anything, I'm just gonna let you talk about your overall thoughts about this match. Starting from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. So I mean, look, it was a good goal. Very happy with that. One of my fears around England generally, and this is someone who's been following England for 25 years now, is people don't replicate their club form for the national team. Saka to set up that goal for Bellingham, who's had a great season. I thought that was good. Good signs. These guys haven't let up in the summer. And I thought, okay, cool. Let's build on from here. They didn't build on at all whatsoever. It looked so static. And you had moments of good play. I thought defensively, England did quite well. There were a couple of situations where the defenders, they didn't allow Serbia to create those really good chances. I think Serbia did create one or two in the end, but the defenders did their jobs. But overall, it was a boring match. You expect so much better. This is an England team that is star-studded. There's so many good players playing all over Europe. Bellingham is probably one of the top 3, top 5 players in Europe right now. Saka's had a great season. You've got Harry Kane. You've got so much talent up and down the team, and then I just feel like they're wasting all this talent with the type of play that they're doing. But it's typical tournament England.
I feel like you're being super kind to them, which allows me to rip
Yeah,
into them. Basically, thank you
yeah,
for
yeah.
that
Go for it.
opportunity. I thought it was downright atrocious.
Yeah.
I thought what happened is this is the shocking thing is
Mm.
yes, they get the goal, and up until the goal they were dominant,
Yeah.
and then after that they literally those zombie movies where basically there's like a walking person, but he's basically asleep,
Yeah.
or that's what the team looked like.
Yeah.
And we've seen this from England so many times, and
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's just yes, okay, you said they played well defensively, but frankly speaking, Serbia should have been more incisive with all the possession that Serbia had. If you look at the second
Mm.
half, Serbia basically had the ball. I couldn't remember barely any time when England
Yeah.
had the
Yeah.
ball in the second half. I was shocked to see at the end of the match that the statistics were actually England outpossessed Serbia, because I was
Mm.
trying to remember when England had the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I don't remember England creating any like significant chances in the second half, and there was very much an opportunity. Like there were quite a few opportunities. I think Jordan
Harry
Pickford made
Kane.
a
There was that one Harry Kane header. That
yeah.
was the only
Okay,
off the
yeah,
crossbar. That was it. After that was
that
it
was it. Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And Harry Kane had been fairly silent throughout the match for
Yeah.
the rest of it. Jordan Pickford also made a really good save, right? So I
Yeah.
think it wasn't like Serbia could have pulled one back, and then all of a sudden it's a completely different narrative. The narrative now is that England didn't play well and they got the win. So that's what tournament teams do, which is good, I guess. But it doesn't bode well. Like it doesn't give me a lot of confidence, because even if they make it, I mean, I think they will make it out of the group stages. But how will they fare against a Spain or an Italy or a Germany or France? And this
Yeah.
is Serbia. This is not one of the strongest teams.
I think it's shocking because these Serbian players are very technically sound.
Yeah, yeah,
And the fact of the matter is, okay, so how is England going to fare against other teams that are even more technical, like a Spain? You know,
Yeah, yeah,
and now you understand why they struggle so much against a Croatia or something like that, or even like, in Italy for that matter, which, you see how good these Serbian players are technically. And once they started just moving the ball around, England had no answers. I don't know what they were doing. What is the game plan? Harry
yeah,
Kane basically came, instead of playing where he's supposed to be playing, he had to come and play basically in the midfield for most of the match,
yeah. I don't get. I mean, the thing is, if I'm being honest, I don't rate Southgate as a manager. I think he's a good man manager. And you look for signs of players generally look happy. There's no infighting in the camp. He gave Trent Alexander-Arnold a hug once he came off the bench. I only rate that because like Ancelotti does that, so I'm assuming it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I've never been impressed with his tactical nous or his man management. I think he was a reason England didn't beat Italy in the last finals of the Euros. And it's a similar story, right? England go up and then they just sit back and like try and hold a 1-0 lead. Like, no, you should be pressing home the advantage. You should back yourself enough. I think part of it is they're also scared. They're
Mhm.
also scared of conceding that goal, and then all of a sudden it's 1-1.
Yeah.
Then it's a different story. So I don't know. I think they do need to change things. And I mean, I guess a good thing is they've got 3 points in the top
Yeah.
of the group, and the other two teams in the group drew their match.
Yeah.
So that's a positive. But yeah, I've not been super impressed, and I've not been super impressed with their pre-tournament form either. They lost to Iceland the other day, obviously, and that was pretty shocking performance. So they need to get it around very quickly.
It's very interesting because up to this
Mm.
point, this particular group of players never really faced the pressure that the previous generations had, and now
Yeah,
suddenly
yeah,
the spotlight's on them. They're the bookies' favorite to win the whole tournament,
yeah,
and then they come up with a performance like this. I can guarantee you, Bick, where
yeah,
you are right now, the media is not going to be happy. They're not going to be happy.
yeah.
So
Like I don't think they won't be happy, but also I think because of the years and years of failures,
yeah,
there is less of a natural expectation than there was on the previous teams. So I
yeah,
think the teams in 2004, 6, 8, they probably, I say 8 as if they even qualified for the tournament. Teams from like 2002, 2006 faced a lot more pressure, and because there was a real feeling like these guys can win something. I
yeah.
feel like England, even if on paper, is one of the 2 or 3 best teams and is the bookies' favorite. I think people feel that if they come up against one of the other major teams, they'll probably end up losing. So we'll see. I think I don't know if there's as much pressure as there was previously.
Whatever it was, I think whatever it needs to change. But hey, like
Yeah,
you said, 3 points in the bag, which can't be said
exactly.
of the other teams in the group. So, all
Yeah,
right, fans out there of Poland, Netherlands, Slovenia, Denmark, England, and Serbia out there who actually, I think, feels like they should have got more out of that match,
yeah,
frankly. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you've been enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. We're doing daily recaps, big exciting times over
yeah. Very
there
exciting.
in the UK.
I'll be there the next match. I'm really excited about that. England Denmark should be a good
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, so we'll catch you live from there and give
Yeah.
us your live thoughts. But as always, until next time, everyone out there, keep watching the beautiful game.